Hello. Sir, I request all to keep your username as your own name and company name. Welcome Hanwante ji, welcome Joseph sir. રાજુ ભાઈ ગુડ મોર્નિંગ સર. રાજુભાઈ જરા તમારું નામ છે ને ચેન્જ કરીને યુઝર માંથી રાજુભાઈ લખી દો ને પ્લીઝ.
હા હા અચ્છા રાજુ એકલો આવે છે.
ખાલી યુઝર લખીને આવે છે.
અચ્છા ઓકે ઓકે હા તો કરી દઉં.
હા પ્લીઝ.
ઓકે
વેલકમ રામાની જી, વેલકમ આનંદ સર, ગુડ મોર્નિંગ. વેલકમ શ્રીરામભાઈ.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome Santosh bhai.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Ramni sir, Anand Jayawant, Sudhir Hanwante sir, George sir.
રાજુભાઈ મેં કરી દીધું છે, ડોન્ટ વરી.
થઈ ગયું ને? ઓકે ઓકે.
Satyendra sir, Satish sir, good morning.
Good morning Satish sir. Good morning.
Ayer sir, very good morning.
Good morning.
Very good morning. Nice to see you, sir.
Nice to see you too.
Great, great.
અરે આયર સાહેબ
કેમ છો તમે સતીશભાઈ?
એમાં તમને કેટલા વર્ષે જોયા યાર?
ઘણા વર્ષ થઈ ગયા, વાત સાચી છે.
કોઈક વાર દર્શન આપતા જાઓ.
કરીશું, કોવિડ લિફ્ટ થવા દો, ઘરે આવી જઈશ.
That you are always welcome.
I can't come.
One more month to go. Good morning, Etop.
Good morning, Joseph sir, good morning.
Very good morning, everybody.
Morning, Vaibhaswata.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Hi, Ramni.
Hello, Mr. Kazi.
Good morning Ramesh bhai.
Good morning, Sudhir. Hi, Anand.
हाँ फर्स्ट क्लास है.
आपको देख के आनंद हुआ.
मैं एवरीथिंग इज ओके. जोसेफ सर आपका माइक चेक कीजिए ना, कुछ बोलिए ना.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yeah, quite clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. विशाल सर, जोसेफ सर का एक बार बाकी सबको अनम्यूट करके जरा चेक कर लो ना, जोसेफ सर का.
Yeah, good morning Ramni.
Good morning. Chullo.
सतीश भाई. It's 25. Welcome, Kuslani ji.
So we will wait for 2-4 more minutes. More and more members are joining. So just wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start the program.
Okay, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Kushlani sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Ashok Shanbhag sir. EAPL, Bangalore.
Good morning, Iyer.
Good morning, Kushlani.
Good evening, everyone.
This is 34 now. Suram bhai, we are 34 now. We shall wait for
Okay.
another 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes more.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, good morning. How is Mumbai? I'm from
Same
Chennai.
as it was. Same it was yesterday, sir.
Mumbai is great. Mumbai is great. Great going.
Good. Now they started relaxing things for here from 3rd. Here it is almost no lockdown. Only as per other than public transport, almost everything is okay.
Good. Great.
So I wish Mumbai to retrieve soon.
We are still in the red zone. Let us see.
A small request to everyone, just make sure that your Zoom name shows your own name and your company name if possible. Because many places it is, random alphabets. So it is just a request.
Vishal, just guide them also how to do it. It's just rename.
Okay, just you have to click on your option and just rename your Zoom name.
Yeah.
So, Vishal sir.
Yes, Ram.
Yeah. How many are there now?
43.
43. So within 1 minute we will start, sir.
Yeah, sure. Just a moment.
All right.
Pragna?
Satish, right, no, sir?
Yeah, let's touch 50. We should be touching 50 in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We
It's
are
only
already,
two.
we are already
So we'll be-
42.
Welcome,
Namaste,
Shrikant
Kasi
bhai.
bhai.
Hi, Suresh.
Hello, sir. Which,
Shrikant bhai, namaskar.
Namaskar, namaskar.
How are you, sir? Sir, you're unmute, sir, please.
Hi, Ashok.
Hi. How are you?
Good. What about you?
First class.
Yes, Joseph sir, I can hear you. Yeah, Joseph sir, I can hear you.
अशोक भाई नमस्कार.
Namaskar, namaskar.
हेलो श्रीराम चालू करो अभी श्रीराम चालू करो
So, sir, let us start the program. As per our Cosmo tradition, we request you to raise for the national anthem. We will sing national anthem all together, sir. So we will proceed for the national anthem. Vishal, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we will proceed for the national anthem. So I
Okay.
will start. Yeah.
Everyone can unmute from your end.
Yamuna Ganga Shubhaname Jare Shubha Ashishamare Jaya Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Jaya 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 He Bharat Mata ki Jai Jai Hind.
So we shall start with Sriram bhai. I'll mute everyone. Sriram bhai, unmute your place. Please unmute. Okay.
So warm welcome to all of you from the team Cosma. I especially welcome our Cosma Ratna, Mr. Shri Gopal Kabra ji. I can't see your video, but I think you are present there on the audio mode. So most welcome, sir. Most welcome, Mr. Ashok Shadbag ji, Kushlani sir, and all of you. Yes, we started from the lockdown 1. Our Cosmo Cluster program has been started from the lockdown 1, and it has been successful and more successful in the running weeks. I think this news has reached the PMO office. So that is the reason there is a one more lockdown now from lockdown 5 from 1st Jan to 30th Jan. So the jokes apart, we are now in the lockdown 5. The things are somewhat opening, but the challenges are still there. The challenges are different. In every lockdown, the challenges seem to be, changing its colors different and different. In this lockdown 4 and 5, what have been observed, yes, there was a relaxation in the industry. As industry of Mumbai-Pune belt is to be considered, which I can witness from here, the government has given industrial sector permission to commence. However, we have witnessed that there is a huge overflow of laborers from the industrial zone to the native places. And hence, there is a tremendous shortfall of labor in industries. Of course, in this situation also, I can see some sparking light. You might have heard of Miss Jyoti Paswan, a 15-year-old daughter of a bus driver from Delhi. She took her disabled father on the bicycle ride as a pavilion rider, and she alone drove 1,200 kilometers on the second-hand bicycle in this North Indian weather condition, single-handedly, with one halt at one petrol pump, and reached her village. I think exactly I forgot the name, at the Darbhanga, in the Darbhanga district of Bihar. From Gurugram to Darbhanga, 1,200 kilometers, single-handedly sailing, and I can get the maximum inspiration from her. How she could have achieved such thing? Because she was aiming on only one thing. She could only see her father in her home. I think this is some great stories are coming up, and great histories again written up with such efforts. So coming back to our point, yes, there is a tremendous shortfall of labor in all industries. At least it may take us 1 or 2 more months to settle back. Along with this, the ready material is not accepted by the clients. And of course, it is finally money flow cycle is disturbed. So in short, on this such a tricky wicket, one has to make the runs on the good balls, but without losing the wickets. So our strokes need to be innovative and perfect. In order to coach you for this, we have present the greatest coach, greatest expert from the industry, who is not only the pioneer of aluminium busbars in electrical panels, but there are plenty of achievements to his credit. And we are lucky as today our Mr. I.C. Joseph sir, he is going to deliver his mantras on innovation to compete and exploration. Yes, I always say Joseph sir, speakers like Joseph sir does not require any formal introduction. Very true. But today I am here to tell you the untold story of Joseph sir. Yeah, Mr. Joseph sir is a Pakka Mumbaikar. He has done his schooling from Mahim, St. Michael at Lady Jamshedji Road. Then he has done matric for Elphiston College, Bachelor of Science from Rupalal College in Maths and Physics. And yes, as you are aware that he has done BE Electrical from BJTI in electrical stream. But you will be surprised if I tell you that he had been selected for IIT. IIT Kharagpur, the only IIT present at that time with just intake capacity of 150. So a big salute to sir. He started his career with L&T, and over a span of 20 years with L&T, he developed and launched more than 100 new products. Many of originally indigenous design and which help our chairman emeritus, Mr. Satish Bhai, to overage their multinational competitors like Siemens, English Electric at that time. You name the product from MCB to ACB, from solar energy till the household washing machine, irons. The Joseph sir has contributed in the design and development as an independent consultant with all your familiar multinationals and Indian corporate giants. I will take more than 30 minutes if I detail you in that. So just to tell you one last thing, he was a member, or rather he's a member of Indian Standard Committee for many decades. And he has represented India at the International Electrotechnical Commission in Moscow, Sofia, and Stockholm. As Satish Bhai himself is present right here, so it will be intolerant to talk about their golden days at L&T. So I request Mr. Satish Bhai to be at the crease now. So over to you, Satish Bhai. And just one important announcement. The important announcement is that you want to, your questions or you have any doubts, you can put queries in the chat box. That will help us to coordinate the question and answer section in a better way. So over to Satish Bhai. Please take the baton.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I am so happy to see every time we have new faces joining in our cluster. Today we have Sri Gopal Kabraji joining in the cluster. I just requested him in the morning and he instantly accepted my invitation. So my special welcome to Kabraji. Welcome, sir. Friends.
Thank you. Satish bhai, thank you, sir. Dadi बढ़ गया.
Namaste.
Namaste, namaste, sir. Namaste.
Thank you, Sriram, for permitting me to say a few words about my personal experience with Mr. I will in fact call him by his first name, Ittup, because we have been friends for 64 years.
Great.
Many of you know that Ittup and I are classmates from VJTI. We first met in 1956 and have remained close friends ever since, even after both of us left L&T many years ago. Ittup was head of switchgear design department of L&T, which responsibility he had shouldered at a very young age and very successfully. And I was at the other end, the sales department. During his tenure in that position, a number of indigenous switchgear products, as Sriram said, 100 or more, have been developed and put in the market. The designs were excellent, sturdy, and very consumer friendly. Because of that, L&T switchgear not only could fight the competition from MNCs, but could gain a much bigger market share compared to other competitors. Congratulations, Ittup, for that success. Ittup and his team always worked very, very closely and accepted feedback from sales department with an open mind. And that is one reason why the products came out successfully. On personal note, I can tell you, Ittup possesses superb qualities. He is very sincere to the purpose, which you will very soon experience after listening to him today. And he is always very firm about his convictions. Once he decides about a particular design, particular quality, particular materials, he will stick to it, even sometimes at the cost of making his superiors unhappy. Well, Ittup, well done on that front too. Ittup, we are all eager to listen to you and learn how we can benefit from your vast experience. Thank you.
Hello to all of you. Good day to all those who are listening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Little bit low, but you are audible.
Yeah. I have yeah, I'll speak a little louder.
Yeah.
I have a lot of points to cover, so much of it I will be reading out so that I don't miss anything. Documentation has always been a
So there is a
relative with me, so I have put everything down in order to speak.
Sir, Joseph sir, there is some audio issues. There are some audio issues. You are
Okay.
not audible to
What
some
I'll
members.
do, I will
Or you can
discuss.
keep the mic near your mouth, sir. There is a
Yeah.
mic in your
What I'll do-
headphone. That
Yeah.
keep near your mouth.
You can use headphones, sir.
No, he's using. So just keep mic near your mouth while you speak.
Is it better now?
Yeah,
Is it
better.
clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm keeping it down. See, the aim of my talk is to start a discussion.
Sir, there is still disturbance, sir. We cannot
Yes,
hear
sir,
you.
sir. I see. Joseph sir, there is still.
Hello.
Yeah. Now it's okay.
Now it's okay. I have
Great. Now it's
disconnected the
It's fine.
earphone. What I have done is I have disconnected the earphone.
Right.
Okay, now it's better, sir.
If I keep
Now it's
it
better.
at a distance,
Now it is perfect. You can continue, sir.
okay, I can
Yeah, thank
continue.
you. Yeah, you can.
As I was saying, the aim of my talk is to start a discussion on the various possibilities for increasing the volume of business of panel manufacture in India. I will use the word panel to cover switchboards, control panels, and any other automation devices as well. And I believe that the market in India will be very dull for a couple of years. In any case, I don't see how improving the competition between each other is going to increase the business. Our additional business must come from export. And for this, we have to see what the possibilities are. I really feel ashamed and sad that after so many years of industrialization in India, we are still able to export solely by the low cost of employees and long working hours. That is the sole reason we are able to export today. But I would like to change this to succeed in export for unique features of the product and excellence of our engineering. So far, I do not know of any engineering product from India which has been copied by another country. That is very sad. I look at the reasons why this has happened. One is high interest rates in India, which discourages any kind of activity which takes a long time to bear fruit, such as developing new products or developing new machines. Because of this high interest rate, you want production as soon as the investment is made. There is a substantial risk that a development activity may not succeed commercially, and it is so easy to import a machine from a reputed party abroad. The second reason is our poor quality of engineering education. Although we are high on intelligence, as has been proved amply by Indians studying and working in USA and other countries, in India, the nature of education is simply to memorize and reproduce, not to identify problems and solve problems. To some extent, this comes out from the lack of industry input to education. We are not trying to influence our education sufficiently. Another common sort of behavior that I have seen in all my clientele is that employees do not want to take responsibility or risks. They only want to do as instructed. This has very much to do with the way the attitude, the way the management behaves, the way the attitude of the management to people making mistakes. L&T was different. It let people take actions which they thought right, independently, without seeking permission from their senior. They let them make mistakes. They never blamed individuals for a mistake. They always analyzed what caused a wrong decision and what could be done to correct. Usually it is a wrong kind of information which leads to wrong decision. The L&T worked always to remedy the means of getting the information. A fourth kind of problem is money not available. On the average, development takes 3 times as much money as you first estimate. Please remember this, that you have to provide for 3 times as much money as you think a development will cost. This is true not only in India, but in other countries as well. So projects have often to be given up or shelved partway. Cash is often in short supply, and definitely in short supply when a business is growing or when a business is contracting. In both cases, you need cash and it gets diverted away from development activities. I've noticed particularly that banks have been very difficult to deal with in India for small industry. Many of the industries that I deal with have trouble getting money sanctions from banks, and banks often promise that it will be okay next month, and it doesn't happen. Testing equipment is not available or is expensive, and there is a reluctance to try and develop your own testing equipment. The tooling cost for dies, molds, extrusion, press tools, all these cost a lot of money, and therefore people don't want to take a risk with a new product unless they have seen the product being made abroad for many years. They are reluctant to start making the product in India. The cost and effort for third-party certification. This is a major cost. Although CPRI was set up to help industry, actually it is very taxing on the finances of industry, especially of MSMEs.
Yes, Joseph, sir. Continue, sir.
Another thing that discourages development of innovation in India is that other activities are often very urgent. People are caught up with delayed deliveries, or with banks, or with making collections, or with negotiating new deals with customers or vendors. In general, Indian employers don't trust their own engineers to solve problems. Only foreigners appreciate Indian engineers and utilize them successfully. This is a sad fact which must be changed. But of all the problems that you have, the biggest one is that if an MSME invests in building up a capacity of its own R&D, the good engineers are soon picked up by multinationals or larger Indian firms at double the salary with comfortable working environment and a lot of perks. It is only if the R&D is in charge of a member of the owner's family that there is a good chance of retaining the person and the secrecy of the development. As a result of all these adverse factors, it is logical for an entrepreneur to buy a German or a Japanese machine, or a Korean or a Chinese machine, for a solution which gives instant results. Of course, the long-term effect of this is a depression in profitability and a weakness in the growth of Indian engineering capabilities. With all these negative factors, is it at all possible for a small company to innovate? After enumerating all these reasons which at embassy we find, I would still like to emphasize that at embassy we can innovate to become competitive. When I joined L&T, the switchgear division was a startup. L&T was well into manufacturing of vessels for chemical industries, particularly dairy equipment. It was making cooling towers, and it was making crown cocks for capping soda water bottles and soft drink bottles. Remember, those were prohibition days. In competition with Metal Box Company, L&T was best known for being an agent of the Caterpillar Tractor Company. You will note that the yellow color was copied from them. At the time I joined, all of the manufacturing was in one location in Powai. L&T did not have any other factories at the time. How much time do I have left, Vishal?
Sir, you may continue. Sriram Bhai.
Okay.
So you
Joseph sir, if you
a little bit of my own background before joining L&T, as it had a considerable influence on my value system and working methods. I was born in 1936, so I'm going to be 85 soon. I was born in 1936 at my mother's house in Trichur in Kerala. But I grew up in Bombay and was the eldest of 4 children. My father came to Bombay from a village near Guruvayur, the famous temple in Kerala. And he was a school teacher for many years, studied law in Bombay through evening classes, became a criminal lawyer, then changed over to mercantile law, practiced in the High Court in Bombay, and had occasions to argue in the Supreme Court. Along with his active law practice, he taught law in colleges in Pune and Bombay, including the postgraduate LLM course in Government Law College at Churchgate. He was also active in India's freedom movement. And he has told me on occasion how differently Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru reacted when he met them and invited them to address meetings for the freedom movement which he had organized. So this has influenced me very much on the need to make India strong, the feeling that we have to do things in India rather than keep importing. As a child, I spoke only Malayalam, but this changed when I started school in Bombay. However, I always spent long school holidays in Kerala, where my relatives spoke only Malayalam. In fact, only one of my 4 grandparents knew any English at all. There was no electricity in my father's village till I was about 16 years old. So I'm quite familiar with a rural environment. In those days, we read by kerosene lamp, walked at night by moonlight or with lantern, cooked with firewood collected from the compound, and so on. In fact, in those days, even in Bombay, a Goda Gadi was the way we traveled from BT station to our home in Mahim. And there were electric trams on the rails from King Circle to Kuala Goda. The war ended only when I was 9 years old. So I was very conscious of activities happening in the war, the adverses, the losses at battles or the winning of battles in various places, all of which could alarm us if the Germans were approaching the Indian coastline. Before the war, life was very much like in the previous century. It had not changed much. But soon after the war, the world has transformed tremendously, and it was a result of the activities during the war. The feeling that everybody is equal, even in England till the World War, the aristocracy ruled the country, governed the country. Immediately after the war, the people who had been fighting the war felt that they had as much right as the aristocrat to the benefits of society. And that, in effect, happened all over the world. And the social revolution, where everybody could feel that they could own a car or own a refrigerator, became the norm. And that is what led to the kind of industrialization that we have today. Actually, the war took place because Germany and Japan were looking for colonies, for sources of material and populations to which they could sell the goods they manufactured. Both of them lost the battles. But surprisingly, in a few years, became the top nations as far as earnings were concerned. So how they did it has some lessons for us. India got its freedom when I was 11 years old. So I was very conscious also throughout my childhood of the freedom struggle. The Quit India movement was very strong in Bombay, very much around the area where I was. There was a time when the Indian soldiers were replaced by British soldiers in the neighborhood of my house because they did not trust the Indian army anymore, not to mutiny. All these things have influenced me, as I said, in wanting that India should succeed in becoming one of the world powers. And this can be done only through industry, as Germany and Japan have shown. Immediately after I graduated, I joined L&T. L&T was a startup, I want to repeat. It was a startup when I joined. I was only 23 years old. The average age in the switchgear division was 25. When I joined, L&T was assembling switchboards with imported material, imported cast iron enclosures, imported switches, fuses, contactors, overload relays, imported linking mechanism, and so on. And my earliest task was to make drawings for enclosure casting to be made in Ahmedabad and Coimbatore, which were the textile centers where castings were easily available. And right from the beginning, I tried to make the walls thinner so that we use less material. We more curves are to reduce the material content, the curves on the body. They also increase the strength. It also was necessary to make the castings look better. Right from the beginning in L&T, we tried to make all our products look multinational. L&T was an Indian company, started in Bombay, primarily with Indian capital. Most of the employees Indian. There were a few managers in the beginning from Denmark, and one of them, he was actually the general manager in charge of switchgear division. I have to talk about him a little more because he has done so much for Indian industry. He is not well known. He was always very retiring, shy in the background. His name was Gunnar Hansen. After Hawk Larsen, Gunnar Hansen was the person most responsible for bringing L&T into the condition it was. When he started in the company at the age of 26, he had just graduated. He was trained for 6 months in Denmark and sent to India. He was just a graduate. He transformed a lot of things in L&T and its switchgear. I later on, when I visited Denmark, discovered that even in college, he was known as the manager. He was not just a good manager, he was a good guru. He mentored a lot of people. Although he himself was not a brilliant engineer, he made sure that the people with ability under him got the maximum training, exposure, visits abroad, and support in their activity. He is the one who visualized or visioned the activities of the switchgear division and saw them executed. He was later promoted to be general manager of all manufacturing activities. He mentored A.M. Naik, among others. A.M. Naik owes a lot to him. He left the company because the Indian government asked him to leave L&T because they said he had been a manager too long at L&T, and they said they would renew his visa only if he quit L&T. He took it very philosophically. I remember even on his last day of work, he spent 2 hours extra overtime after his term was over, discussing in the corporate meeting how the switchgear should be advanced in future. He fortunately came back to India later as advisor in their consulate, in the Danish consulate in Delhi. And in that, he set up a lot of tool rooms all over India. He assisted existing tool rooms and set up many new tool rooms and made sure that tool room or tool education was made strong in India. We owe him a lot. He was in many ways the opposite of what an HRD person will tell you a manager ought to be. He was very aloof from people. I often thought that he disdained Indians. He looked down on Indians. But that was not true, as I discovered much later. He, in fact, when he died, his ashes were scattered. He was brought from Denmark to India and scattered outside the gateway of India. He felt that much for India. He sent his children, his sons, for training to L&T and other companies in India. He asked me to mentor one of his sons in engineering. That was the kind of person he was. So his name was Gunnar Hansen, and he, as I said, was responsible for much. There were many talented people in L&T. As I said, it was a young crowd, but it had a lot of talent, and all the innovation that we brought out could not have happened without the genius in tooling, the genius in production, the genius in the quality control, in procurement. You must remember that India was very underdeveloped at that time. We had to, in fact, set up our own paint shop, our own machine for grinding, casting, our own lathes, our own milling machine, our own injection molding machines, and so on. We had the first Armada machine. We had the first IBM 1401 in India. So there was a lot of talent all around, and it was in that environment that I was able to achieve the innovation that I wanted to do. As I said, L&T started with assembling switchboards made from imported cast iron enclosures. There were units bolted together with studs. There were separate bus bar chambers, each 400 millimeters long. And above and below the bus bar chamber, you had switches, fuses, contactors, overload relays. That is a motor control center. When I joined the company, none of these products were made in India. As I said, we had to make the first drawing for all the components. The drawings were made by draftsmen who had to make them on tracing paper in ink so that we could make copies. There was no Xerox at that time. There were no computers at that time. So we had to make a blueprint, which meant that every change you made in design, you had to scrape off the ink from the tracing and draw new lines. The president of COSMA and the chairman have asked me to describe in more detail how aluminum was introduced as a bus bar. But before that, I would like to mention some other kinds of changes that we made. In those days, all big tenders were a tussle between English Electric, Siemens, and L&T. All switchgear tenders between English Electric, Siemens, and L&T. And the success in tenders generally depended on being able to offer a 0.5% cost advantage. So we had to constantly work on reducing cost. But there was another incentive to reducing material content and cost. This was because India had very little foreign exchange. The government rationed out this foreign exchange. It told L&T that it can have only so much foreign exchange for importing copper, only so much foreign exchange for importing steel sheet. For similar reasons, it told Hindustan Motors that you can make only 8,000 motor cars a year. It told Fiat also, Premier, you can make 8,000 cars a year. So our waiting list for cars was 8 years after you booked it. Our waiting list for a telephone was 10 to 12 years after you booked it. So also for a two-wheeler, 12 years for a Bajaj scooter after you booked it. All because there were these restrictions on how much material a company could import. So naturally, we tried to increase the amount of product we could make from a given amount of copper or steel. Hence, as I mentioned last time, we raised the height of the ACB panel to 2,430. Why that peculiar number 2430? Because steel sheets came in 8 feet length, and this gave just enough margin to make a fold at the top and the bottom. We used 2,200 for MCCs. The upper portion had to be used for bus bar because people could not access the controls above 1,800 millimeters. We had to argue with many of our customers or who were consultants about the kind of specification that they wrote. We persuaded them that doors of panels need be only 1.6 millimeter thick, even if they specified 2 millimeters for all the larger covers. They specified 3 millimeters for vertical members, column members. We were able to persuade them to bring it down to 2 millimeters. Each of these changes meant a small cost advantage which added up. We found that our competitors, Siemens and English Electric, could not change their designs easily because they had to be permitted by their parent company. And the parent companies wanted the designs to be uniform all over the world. So this gave them a handicap which L&T utilized to its advantage.
Joseph,
Other small changes, a very low-cost door hinge, a very small volume, easily detached by pressing a spring. On the doors of the MCC, a replaceable section, a rectangular cutout with, of course, radius corners, which were punched out of the door and then refitted back again with a bezel around it. This made it look neater, but the big advantage that we could change the way we put push button or indicating lamp or ammeters or voltmeters and make changes at the last moment, which was always a problem and probably still is a problem to all panel manufacturers.
Joseph, sir.
Yes?
Yeah, so members would like to know what regarding the copper bus bar.
Yeah.
You have changed to aluminum. So
yeah, I will be talking
yeah, that
about.
people are like to know first.
Sir, also your
What was the
presentation is
challenges?
What
were the challenges are there?
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
we may run short of time, sir, otherwise.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
Joseph sir, one presentation is also there. One presentation is also there which is made by you. So just let me know when you wish to play.
Yeah, I think I'll need 15 minutes.
That slideshow
Okay,
that
sir.
you have given to Sriram sir, just let me know when you wish to show slideshow.
Display.
I beg your pardon?
So the slides which we have prepared, you have sent me.
Yeah.
When you want you to be make present. The slides.
Yeah, okay. I'll just finish the aluminum bus bar.
Yeah, please. Otherwise, we will be short of time. That is the reason.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When aluminum bus bars were, you see, we can also continue in the next session if you feel that we need. There are other things I can talk about, but I can put that off for the next session. I'll talk about aluminum bus bars and then the proposals that I have made.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Aluminum bus bars, I don't know who suggested it, but when I studied it, it was immediately very attractive because aluminum bus bar would cost only 1/4 or 1/5 of what a copper bus bar would cost. When we searched world literature, all of them were discouraging of the use of aluminum bus bar. But I discovered that the main reason was that aluminum, when exposed to air, a fresh surface of aluminum exposed to air, quickly forms an oxide layer within 20 seconds, which impedes the flow of current. This is bad for stranded conductors because current doesn't transmit between one strand and another. I have seen a copper cable where out of 17 strands or 19 strands, only one strand connected from one end to the other. And you could see the effect on the surface of the insulation, that spiral form of heating. Another problem was that aluminum was weaker in strength. Aluminum for electrical purposes comes in two varieties. One is a very pure form which is used for cables and has a conductivity of 61%, and another where it is alloyed becomes stronger in order to withstand the short circuit forces, but the conductivity comes down to 55 or 56%. The biggest problem we faced was how to make a connection from the aluminum bus bar, particularly a plug-in connection from an aluminum bus bar to a draw-out compartment. In the course of studying all this, I visited the Hindalco plant, Hindustan Aluminium, in Renukoot, for which I had to go to Varanasi and take a taxi for 200 kilometers. I later on found that, or I was told by the taxi driver while I was going, that the whole place was infested with thugs and brigands. So I was constantly apprehensive till I reached Renukoot, which was a beautiful factory situated on the bank of a river. They were, of course, very encouraging and supportive of the use of aluminum and offered to make any kind of section that we needed. So we had to do a lot of calculation. I also visited the Indian Aluminium plant in Kerala. They were the rival company making bus bars as well. The main problem, as I said, was how to make a connection. And we solved the problem by introducing a copper element between. And the copper was silver plated so that it would not have bimetallic corrosion with the aluminum. Aluminum surfaces have to be scraped clean. They have to be covered with grease so that they don't get reoxidized. And we have to use spring washers or Belleville washers to make sure, because the third problem with aluminum is that it will creep. It is weaker than a copper, and over a period of time, it compresses under a compressive force. And so the contact pressure reduces. So a spring is needed to compensate for the contact pressure. With all these, we made our first aluminum switchboards. We were able to test it because we had built our own short circuit test station. We built our short circuit test station 4 years before CPRI. And that helped us to bring in a lot of products with confidence that they would not fail. The last part was to sell the idea to consultants. And here I have to pay tribute to the sales force of L&T, which always was optimistic and positive about every kind of change we made and every kind of information we gave to them. I would now like to make some proposals for what COSMA can do. Could you present the slides, please?
Vishal,
Yes,
slide 1.
Slide 1, please.
Thank you.
Can people read it, you think?
Yes, now people can read it, I think. Suram bhai, can you read it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can read it. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can continue, sir.
So for the just-in-time production, we all know that delayed delivery is a common weakness of Indian industry. Of course, there are many reasons, but just-in-time production is one of the solutions. I suggest that COSMA set up a working group to work out how manufacturing time can be shortened in the panel industry. Members of this committee should be CEOs or their immediate number twos, because they will have the maximum experience. Just-in-time will become financially interesting when the payment regime of 45 days is established. For exports, it will definitely be interesting financially. I would, from my experience, say that we should target that there should be not more than 1 week between receipt of materials on a factory floor, in the factory, and readiness for customer inspection. I don't know whether there are companies already achieving this, but this is the aim I would have. Can we go to slide number 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Since COSMA is now able to work through Zoom at a distance, I would suggest a working group can be set up to identify best practices in industry and publish a report in 3 months. Again, I would say there should be the entrepreneurs who have founded industries, or their number 2 who have the maximum experience. Proposal number 3. This is a value engineering exercise we can do for some selected product. Last week, one of our members from Kerala said that his company was trying to do precisely what I am trying to say that the COSMA should do. Pick up a product and value engineer it. Collect people from different industries. They should be donated by the industries, say 5 hours a week should be donated by the industry, and they should try to reduce the cost of the product or improve the features of the product using all the experience that they have. Next one, please. Proposal 4. I am suggesting that 2 test centers be set up to help industries to try out what they want to innovate in. At least the simple things like conductivity of conducting material, testing insulation materials, glow wire test, testing strength of materials, alternative materials, and so on. I suggest that temperature rise and IP should be available at both Bangalore and Mumbai, whereas the other facilities can be divided between these 2 centers because the items to be sent back and forth will be much smaller. I suggest that members contribute about 2,000 rupees a month to running it, to keeping the centers going, and that they should be able to do tests at nominal charges. That's the substance of my proposal. The next one. For promoting export, one of the things I can think of is that COSMA or COSMA members buy into one firm which is successful and where perhaps the founder is anxious to retire, does not have any succession. Out of the many, many companies you have, there must be some like that, who already has some export base and wants to expand on that. One reason I'm suggesting this approach is that to qualify for export, you will already have to have a kind of history of export, reference list of customers, and so on. So it would be better to start with something existing and then contribute all your knowledge and acquired skills to improve on that export and make it larger. It can, if it distributes its work as COSMA is proposing to do, distributes the work that the orders that it receives among different companies, it can remain an MSME and remain entitled to all the benefits. So this is some suggestion that I'm making. As I said, this is an exploratory talk to see what people can do or how we can carry on or develop on these proposals. Proposal number 6, please. one product looking at the future is an intelligent MCC. There are already other companies offering intelligent MCC, but they're expensive. What I feel is that with Indian expertise, that we can make intelligent by combining the efforts of a number of members. I have recently myself been working on such an intelligent product, and I found that it's extraordinarily cost effective, developed by ourselves instead of buying imported PLCs or whatever. I have made these proposals. We don't have too much time, so I would leave it to members now to ask questions or debate it among themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph, sir. Sriram.
Thank you, Joseph, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Vishal, sir?
Yes, Sriram.
Yeah. Any questions are there?
We have one question from Mr. Jaipal Verma. Mr.
Yeah,
Jaipal Verma, you can unmute and ask the question, please.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jaipal.
Hello, Mr. Joseph. My question is that is it the right decision taken by L&T to merge or sell himself to multinational company like Schneider, even if they are doing good in LT switchgear division and they have a good market share in Indian market? So, what is the impact of this decision of L&T to panel manufacturing company and our customers? That I want to know from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I of course have a sentimental attachment to L&T, but right from the time that A.M. Nayak took over, I have felt that it would be good for L&T to sell off that division to another party. Why? Because A.M. Nayak had a lot of drive, but his interests were in a different kind of product. He was not familiar with the kind of decisions that are needed to keep a business like switchgear and over-the-counter business like switchgear going. And his talents were elsewhere. And I don't think any CEO should have under him companies where he doesn't really know the business, because decisions don't get taken. So I was always of the opinion that it should be sold. I only wished that it had been sold to an Indian multinational or Indian owned company like Tata's or Birla's or Ambani's, rather than to a foreign company. What will be the effect of this? I really can't predict. I can't predict the future. But I think the result will be a steady increase in the prices of all Indian-made products.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Joseph spoke very well.
Yes.
Regarding the scenario of switchgear industries and how it developed in India. But, and as he correctly says, that this particular type of industry of switchgear manufacturing or panel manufacturing requires a lot of courage and sacrifice, because this will not bring a very big profit. Like in L&T, when they see other branches and other businesses, this business is not comparable regarding the profits or even the turnover. So they sold off, in fact. But again, CNS is also sold off to Siemens now. So India is left with no manufacturer of switchgear. So we are in a very big problem that why India is not able to produce the switchgear. However, as he correctly says that there has to be the Cosmos can take a lead for two things. One, as he correctly said, for testing center, as in the lines of IRDA. IRDA also did the same thing. It is Association of Electrical Manufacturing. Cosmo can also have this testing center because in years to come, testing will be very important and the foreign testing costs a lot. So a lot of foreigners are coming to India for testing. So it is a good business proposal also. The second thing is Cosmo should have a centralized sort of R&D or innovation center. So that persons who are having passion in R&D can work in this particular department of or particular group of Cosmo. Well, R&D is a very important thing, at least in switchgear and the switchgear panels and MCC. I want to ask one more question to Mr. Sudhav, that what he thinks about the closed door operation panels, which are nowadays specified by NTPC and BHEL and also the petrochemical. So has he done some work on, or can you throw some light on closed door operation panels? My question.
Answering your second question first.
Okay.
I personally don't have the kind of experience or exposure to what you are talking about. Particularly the kind of industries that you are talking about. For me, I look at all products as similar, identical. All of them consist of materials which have to be used for a particular end result. So one has to, in R&D, look at what is the end result you want, and are you using your materials correctly for doing that. You say that because the switchgear is now no longer in Indian hands, considering what has happened to L&T and controls and switchgear, I would say that therefore export is the bigger opportunity. Export, because there you can use the foreign-made switchgear. In fact, you would often be required to make multinational switchboards with multinational product. It is in the switchboard itself that you can make the saving. The savings are made not only in the material, but also in the process, in the, as I said, just in time, the best practices. All these have to come in as innovations to make your product. For many years, even though Germany was the most expensive country to make a product in, they were able to export their complete panels to be assembled in Dubai, for example. We have to come to that situation. The things like what Ramani is trying to do, L Steel or Rittal have done. Rittal has come from Germany. L Steel has come from Denmark. These are all very high-wage countries. Even then, they have succeeded in making a dent in the Indian market. Can we not do the same in the lesser markets of Africa, of Sri Lanka, Burma, etc.? Why do we have to be inferior to Germany or Denmark? Denmark is a country with only 5 million people, and yet it has 2 companies making this enclosures very successfully. Next question.
Vishal?
Yeah, there is currently there is no question now. So if anyone would like to come forward, please come forward.
I'm Divakar here. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sir, can you throw some light on this white label products which L&T is, that is Schneider is offering?
No, really, no. I have actually absolutely no information on them.
Okay, okay. So what I understand is they'll give permission to manufacture the same product in their own brand and sell it in the market. But all the quality assurance will be given from the parent company like L&T, which is taken over by Schneider. So
Yeah.
Cosma as a whole, can we think something of our in this area?
I think it will have to be up to individual companies who are members of COSMA, but I doubt that COSMA as a whole can enter into a competition with them.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else, sir? We should, I think we should go ahead with the agenda.
Ayer, sir? Ayer, sir, would you like to say something? SV Ayer, sir, SG Engineers.
I have no questions.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I have no questions to ask.
No question. Okay. He has no question.
So
Sir, we can go ahead with agenda now.
Yeah. So I think Mr. Virendra Singh has to leave for some urgent work. So he's not there. So I think if all the questions have been answered, then I will go for concluding section and vote of thanks. So first of all, thank you, Mr. Joseph, sir. You have taken your valuable time and guided us on the various aspects. You have told us how a person from a small village can be a great engineer designer, and how it was, developed to make India to equal or rather compete with industrial giants like Germany and Japan. Then you have given us various mantras. First is just in time, value addition, value engineering. Then you have given us the concept of test centers at Mumbai and Bangalore. Yes, it's very true that IP test, temperature rise test, and conductivity test, they require at least less capital, and that can be developed and that can be taken care and think over it. The short circuit is a very costly affair, but this test can be developed and it can be beneficial to members also and the unit users also. Then you have given us the idea of acquisition of a going from who is doing exports. And lastly, intelligent IMCC, which is an indigenous design. We will surely follow these ideas. And it was a great morning hearing from you. So thank you very much. And thanks all the members also who have taken time to join this COSMA cluster meeting. So I request Mr. Vishal to click smiling snaps of all of us. So over to Vishal, please. Take a snap.
Just a moment, sir. Need everyone smile, so it's coming now, one by one. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And request to all members, just upgrade your Zoom before Sunday, because there is one force upgrade has come due to safety patches. So a few members are facing problem today because of that.
Vishal, can we send the link from the upgradation on our COSMA cluster?
Yeah, it has to be upgraded from. You have
it
to
will
upgrade
come automatically. Yeah.
It is individual Zoom has to be upgraded.
Yeah, that's all.
Version 5.
If you want, I'll try to send the link. No problem, Sridhar. I'll definitely post on WhatsApp, so one can download on your laptop or PC and then do the needful.
Sriram, can you also send these 6 proposals to all the
Yes,
individual
sir.
members.
Yes, sir. We will be sending after the meeting is over. We will send it on WhatsApp on the main
Because
group as well as on the cluster group.
Yeah, once they have thought over it, I think we will get good feedback.
Sure.
Definitely. We will share this also.
So we will share
Satish sir,
immediately. We shall.
Satish sir would like to speak something, please.
I think this idea of setting up test labs and all that can be a part of quality panel work. This quality panel is very strong. If we assign that kind of assignment to them, they will come up with not only the technical proposals, but also commercial proposals so that COSMA can take it forward. I don't think COSMA will have problem of funds because its members are always ready to come forward to finance a thing like this. So we can hand over the proposal for putting up test lab like etc. to quality panel. Do you agree, Mr. Joseph?
Can I say one thing here? That ERDA in Baroda was set up by EMA as by contribution from various members. ERDA in Baroda was set up like that by industry.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Anand bhai.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for making this program a grand success. So I think we can conclude and can.
Yeah, Anand bhai would like to speak something. Anand bhai.
Yes. Yes. No, we can conclude the meeting, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Shall meet again on next Sunday, 11 a.m. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.